How does who we are impact what we buy and how we buy it? How do we decide on the clothes we choose to wear? What about the food we eat? Often, our surroundings dictate many of these decisions. In fact, all of our consumer decisions are impacted to some degree by what's around us. Our culture, values, and social class, along with the people we associate with and those we admire. All the things I've just listed are considered external influences on our buying decisions. Let's say, for example, you're a fitness enthusiast living in Manhattan Beach, California. How do the external influences we just mentioned impact your purchase decisions? For one, you live in an area where eating well and exercising are more popular. The local culture promotes a healthy lifestyle similar to yours, so when you shop for groceries, the specialty health food your diet requires is probably more readily available. Because you value hard work and being active, you enjoy all the time you spend working out, and you'll gladly fork over $150 for a series of yoga classes. Your social class allows you to have the means to buy the classes too. When you show up to yoga, you see some of your good friends there. Most of them are hardcore yogis, and you know they all wear Lululemon outfits to class. Boy, are you relieved when you're wearing Lululemon too. Your reference group has influenced what type of clothing you wear when you work out. Lastly, when you were trying to choose a yoga mat, you asked your friend Dave because he always seems to know about the best new workout gear. Dave is an opinion leader for you, and you end up buying the mat that he recommends. Culture, values, social class, reference groups, and opinion leaders have all influenced your purchase decisions for just your groceries and workout clothes. Let's take a closer look at each influence and how it makes an impact. Culture is by far the most pervasive of these external influences. In fact, it's challenging to even define what culture exactly is because of its prevalence in our lives. One definition I can offer is to consider culture more as a set of individual boundaries or norms. We acquire these boundaries all through our lives, starting at birth. When we react to any situation in a manner that feels right, we're within these boundaries and acting in accordance with our culture. So, how does culture impact consumer decisions? Let's compare Manhattan Beach with a place in South Dakota. Pierre's is the name of a natural food store in Manhattan Beach. The store prides itself on not only being the most beautiful place to shop for groceries, but also the go-to destination for health foods, vitamins, and supplements. The store carries vegetables harvested that day and lots of specialty foods like gluten-free items. While it's a beautiful place to shop, it's also quite expensive, but those who live in the area love to shop at Pierre's and think it's the best place for all of their grocery needs. Meanwhile, in the middle of North Dakota, there's a market that's also wildly popular called Bill's. You can get your tires changed at Bill's while you pick up some hot dogs, hamburger patties, buns, and all the other necessities for an upcoming backyard cookout. Those who live in the area love to shop at Bill's and think it's the best place for all of their grocery needs. How could these two places be so monumentally different yet still meet the grocery needs of their local consumers? Culture. The culture in Manhattan Beach places more importance on the freshness and quality of their groceries. They don't mind shopping more often and in smaller quantities if they think it means their products are fresher. Neither do they mind shelling out the extra funds to pay for the gluten-free fare. In North Dakota, as well as many other places in America, shoppers place more importance on convenience and price in general. Not to say they don't want fresh or high-quality food, but as a whole, they're more concerned with convenience and price. Moving on to our next external influence, value, you could even say that our hypothetical Pierre's shoppers value freshness and quality, while the Bill's shoppers value convenience and price, and each group requires a different store format and product offering to meet the buying patterns associated with these values. So what exactly are values? Again, like culture, it's not something easily defined, but in general, values are generally held beliefs closely connected to culture about what's acceptable and desirable. Given the definition, as you can imagine, values touch almost every part of our lives. In our workout enthusiast example, hard work was one of the core values. Work-life balance, individualism, and how you view the environment are all considered values too. Values also encompass our moral and religious views. Social class also influences our purchase decisions. Most times when you hear social class, you probably immediately associate it with income levels. While this is a large part of what makes up social class, it also includes your level of education and occupation. Altogether, social class is where you stand in society compared to others based on education, income, and occupation. Returning to our opening example, let's say not only are you a workout enthusiast for hobby's sake, you're a physician by trade. You've devoted many years to your education and are passionate about what you do for a living. As a doctor, you make a decent wage that puts you in the upper class. Because of your education, occupation, and income, your purchase decisions are different from someone in another social class. Because you've spent so much time educating yourself on the importance of what you put into your body, you're able to do all your grocery shopping at Pierre's. Your brother Bob from North Dakota is also a fitness enthusiast, but went a different route. Rather than medical school, he became a certified personal trainer. While you both share the same passion for health and fitness, his income level dictates a different level of purchasing power. When he shops for groceries at Bill's, he buys organic when he can, but not always, and gets the most cost-effective cleaning supplies, and buys mainstream shampoo and soap. While he'd love to shop at a place like Pierre's and go all organic and all natural, it just isn't in his budget. Going back to our yoga class, let's look at how reference groups and Dave, the opinion leader, impacted your buying decisions. Reference groups are groups used to influence our behavior in a given situation. We're all members of several reference groups and call upon them based on the situation at hand. How much a reference group influences our behavior is based on several factors, one of the largest being how visible the item is to others in the group. In our example, all the members of our reference group can see what brand of clothing we're wearing, so this factor contributes a lot to our buying decision for workout clothes. The vitamins we take probably aren't seen by many members of this group, so we don't feel as much pressure when shopping to choose a certain type or brand. Other factors that influence buying decisions include the necessity of the item. The more an item is a necessity rather than a superfluous item, the less group influence makes an impact. The relevance of the product. Purchases that don't relate to the reference group aren't necessarily influenced by them. The level of commitment the person feels to the reference group. If you're not a hardcore member of this yoga group, you probably aren't as concerned with what you're wearing to class. The level of confidence you have purchasing the item. If you're unsure, it's easier to defer to the group. For our last external influence, let's look at opinion leaders and how they impact consumer buying decisions. Opinion leaders are people who continually seek out product and brand-specific information and often share that information with others. They're most known for their enduring involvement with a specific product or long-term involvement and enhanced knowledge and experience about a certain product or product category. Do you have a friend that seems like they've always tried the newest things before you've even heard of them and always has great recommendations? They're an opinion leader for you in that category. They're just like Dave, who was able to dole out advice on yoga mats because of his enduring involvement in the yoga gear category. External influences are all around us. Our culture, values, social class, reference groups, and opinion leaders all mold our decisions as consumers. Culture is impacting us from the moment we're born and gives us a set of guiding boundaries or norms to guide our purchase decisions. Values are what we place importance on and influence the type of products we buy in myriad situations. Social class is where we stand in society compared to others based on income, education, and occupation. While education and occupation influence our purchase desires, income determines our actual purchasing power. Reference groups guide our consumer decisions and help us decide on appropriate purchases, especially when what we're buying will be visible to others in the group. Lastly, opinion leaders have enduring involvement with a product category and give out advice that molds our purchasing decisions.